Here comes Knievel. He's not hesitating. He'll go.
It was an amazing time.
Evil was on top of the world.
He's probably the only man in history who's become very wealthy by trying to kill himself.
In the span of 7 years, he became one of the most famous people in the world.
Eddie, you had one of the same role models I had growing up, only you acted on it and I did not, and that is Evel Knievel. What was it about him that really captured you as a kid?
Oh, come on, Evel Knievel, he wore a cape. He was a superhero incarnate.
He was the greatest reality show before reality shows existed.
I really thought he was amazing as well and got a chance to meet him, but I was too chicken to do all those stunts. You've been doing stunts for almost a lifetime.
I'm the face you never see. You see what I do. The last few stunts have been pretty rough. I love my job. I've been doing it for a long time, but I thought by now I would be done doing this to pay the bills.
It certainly seems like it, Deborah, which was a perfect time to start winding it down and transitioning into a different part.
And your idea of winding it down would be, for some people, more like winding it up. Tell us about how this program came about.
Evel Knievel inspired a generation. He certainly inspired me.
I'm Evel Knievel, honey. I'm not supposed to be afraid.
And I figured, what better way than to pay homage to the gentleman that inspired me in the first place? It would be kind of like my mic drop.
Kurt, you were in the film industry, obviously, as a director. You began your career with this guy, I think some of us might know him, Steven Spielberg, creating the dream sequence for Minority Report. When you talk about sequencing, it's the ultimate when you're dealing with stunts, isn't it?
Absolutely. And what I learned after filming my first stunt sequence with Eddie is that stunt performers get hurt. I grew up watching these action shows and these films, and there's this weird thing that happens, the suspension of disbelief. You go, this is all fiction. You know, no one's really getting hurt flipping a car upside down and exploding and catching themselves on fire. And what I learned right away is stunt men and women get hurt all the time. It's just their commitment and expertise is what prevents them from getting injured. That was just a world that I thought audiences need to see.
I will be taking this car up to a speed, probably 70 or 80 miles an hour. I'm going to hit this button. It will detonate a bomb that is rigged in the car. I'll be in here flipping and flopping down the road.
This is a friend of mine, Eddie. I thought this would be a tremendous opportunity to make a nonfiction action film, a nonfiction superhero film. I love those movies. And as I started learning about Eddie and hearing about this mission that he wanted to go on, it just felt very organic to say that, hey, this is the nonfiction action version of this type of film. And we're thrilled to make it.
It's interesting, just looking at the clips, my heart starts racing and I'm thinking, is he crazy or committed, or should he be committed?
Somebody is building a rocket and they need a pilot.
This rocket was on my lunchbox as a kid.
I'm sure you had people ask you so many times, are you crazy? What is it?
Deborah, I'm not crazy at all. Being a professional stuntman, you try and be very methodical and surgical. There's a big difference between being a daredevil and a professional stuntman.
The machine is on the ramp. Right now, water's being boiled to 700 degrees inside that rocket engine. That's hotter than a volcano. The pressure from that steam should be strong enough to fire me across the canyon. But that's why we're testing it first.
I'm not an adrenaline junkie. I'm merely an average guy with a really cool job, and I love what I do.
In this idea to complete this stunt that your hero did not.
Whoa, it looks like a good one. Whoa.
Take us through that, leading up to actually making it happen.
I wanted to finish the dream of my hero, Evel Knievel. And I figured I had all the years as a professional stuntman that to me, this was just another action sequence in a film. A lot of planning and a lot of thinking went behind it. It wasn't a hold my beer situation. It was a very thought out, methodical thing.
And it's interesting because we just saw Jeff Bezos go up into space, Richard Branson. You had to do your planning as well, kind of in the same method, right? And for you approaching it, heart pounding and the whole bit, but Kurt, for you watching it, you're from a whole different point of view, an angle of watching all this happen. What was that like for you?
It was equally terrifying. I mean, you know, as a director, I had to make sure on the day of the launch. We only had one take to capture this, so I needed to get as many cameras as I could to Twin Falls, Idaho at the Snake River Canyon. At the other side, Eddie's a friend of mine, so my heart was in my throat as he was climbing into that steam-powered rocket. And I just hope audiences feel what I felt on that day, which was just like, this guy is a father of 4. He's a great stuntman, a great family man. I hope he makes it.
It's interesting you say that, because I kept thinking, I hope he makes it. I hope he makes it. I went, wait, of course he makes it, because I'm going to interview him. Eddie, in your 40-year career, was there ever a moment where you said, why am I doing this?
Yeah, every time I go to work sometimes, because I am afraid of heights. I'm not an adrenaline junkie. I'm just an average, regular person, and all that stuff scares the hell out of me.
Life's funny like that.
It's how you deal with those fears, and I have fun. I'm blessed with a great job as a stuntman. I love it.
And with that said, Kurt, what's the overall lesson you hope a lot of us get from watching this?
Well, I think Eddie's story is a powerful one. It's a great lesson that if you are willing to risk it all for a dream, and you can hold on through the highs and the lows, you can accomplish anything. And as a filmmaker making this film, I was learning Eddie's lesson while putting this thing together. This was a passion project. No one hired us or paid us to make this film. We just thought, if Eddie's willing to risk it all to jump this canyon, I'm going to risk it all to make this film. And I hope that's the takeaway we get, that just like, if you just hold on, you can pretty much get anything accomplished.
This is Evil Spirits. You're loading Eddie in. Launching in 5. The rocket's rolling. Stand by. 4. You're looking good. 3. Laser down. 2. Flight initiated. 1.
I wrecked a lot of bikes trying to be Evel Knievel. By the way, this film was produced by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. You can stream the riveting documentary Stuntman anytime on Disney+.